Yeah, we see it.
Okay, cool. Cool. So building rapport, my sales process, and sticky books. Building rapport, couple of corny quotes here. Shine bright with integrity and professionalism, connect with warmth, and energize with trust. That is how we turn solar solutions into an industry revolution. And the finish line in solar takes longer than shortcuts are when shortcuts are made. These kind of sum up Portland, I'd say. Just keep moving. Make a friend, make a sale. Matt Kerrigan actually said this about me, and it kind of fits me. I just build relationships, and then my close is a recommendation. I'm going to kind of go through the steps, some of the things that I do to build rapport. So when they open the door, build credibility and break down barriers to let them know you are on their side. Don't be salesy. Me in particular, there's no wrong way to sell. It's just kind of how I do it. I try to be genuine. Let them know I'm human. Right. When I get in the door, I always have a smile on my face. Some people say I always smile permanently, even when I'm sleeping. Regardless of my prior mood, leave baggage in the car. So any kind of issues you're having, prior, family, at home, previous appointments, you got to move past it. It's a clean slate. When in the home, be professional, but also be friendly. Again, can't hammer home enough just to be genuine. Be yourself. They can smell it when you're not. Compliments are key. So I always start with a compliment when I walk in the door. I try to find something right away. Dog, home, location they live in. But I try to be genuine about it. You don't want to just check a box. Try to find common interests. Really, my mind is not on solar at this point. I'm just trying to build a relationship at this point. I try to get the homeowner to open up as much as I can in the beginning, to talk more than I am. Just little tactic I use. And I just try to stay attentive and focused. So in the appointment, this is something I've been doing recently. Head to the garage and build a connection. So this does a lot. But oftentimes the homeowner is maybe an introvert. They don't, or there's not much to talk about in the house, like a bare house. It does a lot of things going into the garage. I just let them know, hey, let's go take a look at your electrical panel. Introverts tend to talk more when they're moving around, especially when they're in their own comfortable environment. Homeowners' hobbies are often in the garage. So many times you can't find much to talk about in the house. And, 9 times out of 10, their interests are in the garage, whether it's a kayak or a dirt bike or whatever it might be. It does also, I'm checking more than one box. So I go in, I'm looking at the electrical panel. I want to find out if the electrical is going to pass. To my knowledge, I'm no electrical expert, but I know the panels to look out for. And, I kind of set expectations a little bit with the homeowner too. If I see that, and immediately that day I'll be requesting a bid from an electrician, just to kind of get the ball moving. Really, I hate change orders. And so I want things to go through as smoothly as possible. So I'll have the electrical bid ready to go. When the site survey is completed, I'll have it uploaded in the docs, send a message to design. Hey, this, he's getting an electrical panel. We're aware, we're moving forward. You will see and can set expectations for clear access to the panel. So another reason why I go into the garage is so I can see obstructions, right? So when I first started at Blue Raven, I noticed that when I didn't go into the garage, there's a table that could potentially be moved. The homeowner was not aware because we didn't go in there and look at it. Design calls it out, and they assume that it's fixed or the homeowner can't move it. They create, a change order, and then it just slows down the process. I have to call back in and say, hey, actually, he's going to move it. And they say, okay, we'll put it back into the rework queue. Again, I hate change orders. Time kills deals. So I need things moving quickly and efficiently. This is actually a picture of a home in Oregon City. We went out and looked at his garage, and this is what it looked like. I spent like an hour in the garage talking, building a connection, and just sitting in his car. It's pretty cool. There's a 57 Corvette there in the back. Create a bond. Throughout the appointment, be friendly, professional, and an educator, not a salesperson. Again, this is me personally. Throughout my pitch, basically I treat it like I am the teacher and they are the student. And I am strictly sticking to just education, statements, and facts. I'm not trying to push it or sell in any way. I try to avoid that because they can smell it. Many times I'll look up more information, pull up pictures of hobbies the homeowner's talking about to show I care. Just, again, building a bond, building a connection. I just let them know that, that's interesting. I was looking at like Pineville Reservoir the other day with the homeowner because he likes going camping there, and it's actually, you learn a lot. Exchanging pictures of family hobbies can remind the homeowner you are human. A good closer assumes the sale. A great closer earns the right to recommend the sale because of the rapport and trust that was built in the appointment. I've become their solar advisor by the end of it. Again, I don't go looking for the sale. I let the sale come to me. I always text the homeowner after the appointment, set up a line of communication. There's 3 points of contact: email, phone, and text. I try to do 2 of those the same day. Usually it's a follow-up email, pretty darn extensive one, and a text. Moving on to my sales process. So I take longer. I tend to take longer than the average consultant. Again, I tend to be more thorough. If I think things are going well, then, it'll be like an hour and a half. Sometimes it'll be longer. Sometimes it'll be a couple hours long. I'd say the average is an hour and a half. Words to use and not to use. So I preface it by saying 1% incremental improvements add up. I truly am the student of psychology of the sale. Now, I'm always trying to be better. I've been in sales for like 18 years, and I noticed like once I get to a certain point, it's like these micro adjustments that I make that can make the impact. I can't drastically change things, but I'm always trying to get better. Stirring the mind of the homeowner in front of me without them knowing it. That is the psychology of the sale. Part of this is using choice words, tone of voice, tone inflection, right? Strategic pausing. Just talks about using different words can make an impact. So I use a lot of words during the appointment that I think are important: inflation protection, qualify, replace, redirect, throw away, guarantee. And then I have substituted some of the words that I feel might be better. So proposal or proposals department, I've replaced that, and I call it the satellite analysis. Sounds a little bit more professional, a little bit more credibility, technology, right? And proposals department, I call them the satellite analytics team. The design department is the design and engineering team. Loan agreement, solar payment documentation instead. Cancel. I just replace that with, decide not to move forward. You can kind of choose your words there. Home improvement contract, mainly the contract. That word is kind of scary to homeowners. So I instead use just Blue Raven Solar document. There's probably a lot of words they can use, a lot of names. they would replace that. Closer to consultant. Sometimes the welcome call, they say that, the closer, and it can be tough. Know the home, know the utility. So this is now when I get to the appointment. I request the design right away. Actually, when I get the appointment, I'm not at the home. I'll immediately request the design with or without the bill. The shade report will be created at that time, and this cuts down the time the design requests are made. The designs are made in the appointment for regens. You guys all know that probably, but for new closers, I think that it's just a little tip. When you get to the home, pull up the shade report, get an idea as to where the productive planes are here in Oregon. We're trying to maximize efficiency in the roof planes that that are in front of us. There's trees around, so we're trying to just know your home. The utility is uploaded. I calculate what the homeowner's utility cost is monthly before I'm in the door. So I actually, you just go into the assumptions page in the last page of the proposal, divide the annual kilowatt hour consumption by 12. That's the monthly kilowatt hour consumption, multiply it by your rate, and then make sure you add the rate increase to bring that gap from the solar payment to their utility moving forward closer, right? So I want to know what it is going into the home. And that'll help me when I draw my graph. When requesting a design, I put specific notes, and we train our teams on a lot of this stuff. But specifically, with this, putting in the notes for the design team, we kind of almost have kind of a template, right? We're trying to maximize the efficiency here in Oregon. So Oregon fire setbacks is what I put. Oregon fire setbacks, mixed orientation of panels in portrait and landscape is okay to just pack them in there. Most homeowners don't care about the aesthetics. And I always say, please get as close to 100% offset without going over for cost reasons, because we are seeing like a kind of an onslaught of competition here in the Portland market. And just that one panel can make the difference between the sale. And if it's in the high 90s, it's likely going to be suitable for the homeowner. You can't make a second first impression. So I think that, I said it here. So looking the part is as important as playing the part. I think dressing properly goes a long way. I represent Blue Raven with the gear they provide. I mean, Ryan and his team do an incredible job providing all the gear that we need, and it looks good. I'm also big on branding in general. So you want to, you have a setter appointment. They don't know who you are, but if you come in with branding, they'll know that you're established, right? At least. And so, you see the picture there. I come in with my card holder, Blue Raven, my iPad has stickers on it, my Blue Raven pen. I'm ready to go. When I get to the door, I smile. Step back and I'm looking at the roof. I separate myself from the competition. Really, when you got a lot of competition, you got to figure out ways to do it. I start with a friendly takeaway and build company credibility at the same time. This is kind of what I say at every door. I say, hello, I'm Richard with Blue Raven. I'm here to see if your home qualifies for solar. So that's the takeaway. Friendly takeaway. And they always, they're going to say something to the order of, so what do you need to do? Do you need to get on the roof or need to look around or, and I say, yeah, so today we use Aurora. It's a satellite software for solar where we can see the pitch of your roof, the dimensions, the sun exposure throughout the whole year, factoring in all the seasons and shade to get an idea as to whether or not it even makes sense for the home. So tone inflection, really I'm hammering home like that part to see if it even makes sense, because I'm trying to get on their side of the table as quick as possible. really you got to break down barriers quick because they don't know what to expect, right? And then I say, and whether or not it qualifies. Our satellite analytics team is working on your home right now. Is there somewhere inside we can sit? So in the beginning, when I first started, I started saying, hey, I'm Richard with Blue Raven Solar. I'm here for your solar appointment. And it's all about like the 5% of people that turn you away at the door. It's overcoming those 5%. So, and I've never had an issue since then using this. Build credibility and sell the BRS SunPower name without selling by asking the question. It's kind of the psychology of the sale tactic. So this is kind of what I say in the beginning of every appointment before I get into my pitch. Instead of saying like, let me tell you who we are, right? And sell the company and sell SunPower, I start with a question. I say, did you find us through PGE or where did you find us? Builds credibility. They always say something to the effect of, no, somebody came to my door, or this is again for a sales dev or a setter appointment, obviously. But they'll say, no, never heard of you, or no, somebody came to my door. So I always act surprised every time. I say, oh, really? I know that we're doing a program where we're locating homes that look like good candidates for solar, but oftentimes homeowners find us through PGE. So do you know much about Blue Raven then? Or so it's just, I'm getting to that point where I'm building credibility with the utility, right? But I'm getting to the point where I can kind of let them know who we are. Never heard of Blue Raven? Please tell me. That's what the homeowner usually says. So pauses throughout the pitch can make it more genuine. And so I do that from time to time. And here's one spot where I do it. And I say, okay, so Blue Raven Solar, we're part of SunPower, one of the largest commercial applicators of solar in the nation and the oldest. We're the only company in the nation that's been around longer than the 25-year warranty of the panel, almost 40 years. That's a long time for solar. This is a long-term relationship, so we're not going anywhere. Anyway, we coordinate with PGE and the interconnection part of this program that they're doing. And oftentimes the same, mainly because we don't subcontract out. There's a lot of hoops we have to get through to qualify a home through permitting, interconnection application, design, engineering. So we do it all. SunPower does all the commercial applications. Like they've done Intel, Nike, Disney, NASA, Costco, Apple, and we're the residential division of SunPower. So we do all the homes. That is who we are. I say, I don't give that spiel to everyone, but that is who we are. And I laugh and they laugh. Buying all the time you need reduces stress. This is something I still do. And I recommend new closers. We train the new closers to kind of do this. To reduce stress for everyone and to give yourself a chance of getting through your whole pitch without them thinking you are withholding the results, I let the homeowner know that I do not have them. I also instill in their mind that we are slammed at the same time and everyone is going solar to get them motivated. Obviously, I don't say this to them, but what I do say is, so I set expectations, right? So I say, our satellite analytics team is working on your home right now. They usually start the analysis shortly before the time I arrive because we're just so busy. Some homeowners reschedule. We just have to stay efficient. And they understand at that point. It's going to eliminate the homeowner that's like, just show me the numbers. They're short with you. And, if I have both parties there, I'll say, we should see it today. If I have one, I have to figure out if they're the decision maker. And if they're not, then I'll just schedule a two-touch. Software tech can impress. Before I start my pitch, I say, I think I have all the information in here. I can show you what we have so far. And I pull up the 3D imagery of Aurora. because I think it separates ourselves from the competition. Many of them just don't do that, and it kind of builds credibility and shows the technology and how we are serious about getting it right. I also showed the shade report. I say this is multi-years of data. I think it's 30 years of sun data in Oregon. This gives us a lot of information, and I just kind of break it down. And then I actually say it looks good so far, to be on their side of the table. This gets the homeowner excited and shows that you use extensive data to get it right. Find out why solar and more with a question. So this is when I actually dive into the pitch. This is when my pitch starts. So I ask the question and it kind of checks a lot of boxes. So I say, so I think I have everything in here, so I can kind of just dive in. So what interests you guys in solar? Is it the environmental impact, the financial benefit, home appreciation? What is it? This does a lot. So you basically, instead of just telling them, let me tell you why solar makes sense and selling it, you frame it as a question, and you effectively told them that there are all these benefits without selling it with the question. You're steering their mind without them even knowing it, right? You just told them it checks all those boxes. The same, it makes sense whether it's an environmental drive, financial drive, or they're looking for the appreciation of their home. We'll know whether or not to bring up the environment the rest of the pitch. It's another benefit to asking that question. Because it is a hot button topic, some homeowners care about the environment, some don't. If they do care, then obviously you want to bring it up throughout the pitch. If they say finance, then you will not bring up environment from then on because you could lose the sale. But if they say environment, smooth sailing. Those are the best ones, incredibly rare, but usually price is less of a concern. Slow it down and hammer home net metering and utility increases. So James and I have been training our team to really take more time in painting the picture in what the utility is doing and where it's headed, what rates are going. I spend quite a bit of time educating the homeowner about what's happening, pulling up, sites of the utility that are, where they're trying to justify the rate increase. I'll say, oh, actually, let me, I was looking at this with the previous homeowner. Let me show you. But yeah, just continue to educate statements and facts. And just the reasons I think that we all kind of know. See, utility costs, definitely in Oregon, they're going up faster than they've ever gone up before. I definitely educate yourself on, keep up to snuff on what your utility is doing. All the reasons why new construction and electric vehicle demand. I mean, a lot of people don't know, and I tell homeowners, like, when you charge an electric car, it's the equivalent of powering your home for 2 days. And the majority of automakers want to be full electric, so they are way behind on infrastructure. Master the takeaways, set expectations about qualifying. I do let them know about 70% of homes in Oregon don't qualify for solar. It's a huge takeaway. I want them to think, go from do I want solar to I hope I qualify by the end of it. I say sun is a factor, but they wouldn't have sent me here if you didn't think you get, if they didn't think you got good sun. But I say what we put the system on, we have to make sure it's a good foundation because there's a warranty there, there's liability, so we look at the roof and trusses. I'd say about a year ago, I stopped asking them how old your roof is because I don't want to plant that seed in their mind. They weren't thinking about it before, but let Blue Raven determine the qualification. I don't want them starting to, if they have 5, even 10 years left on the roof. I had homeowners that are like, you know what, it's just not worth it. I don't want to have to take the system down, put it right back up. So I don't even ask them about the roof anymore. Huge takeaways, the electrical. Sometimes the electrical does not meet the requirements to go solar, whether it doesn't have the proper amount of service or it's a fire hazard panel that's been recalled in the past. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. So just big takeaways. The graph sells. We train our guys to draw out a graph and leave it with the homeowner. I actually have a sheet of paper. James does the same thing. Sometimes it can make the sale. Homeowners are often visual learners. Educating and illustrating the difference between renting and owning power fortifies the financial benefit. We are offering inflation protection. And I say, so Blue Ribbon's goal, it's always been to get the homeowner into a position where they can make a vote for clean energy if they want to check that box, and make sure I say that, but also to get away from the monopoly that is PGE and own your own power with no money down, have your net monthly expenses not really change much, right? That is our goal. I draw it out. Analogies are key. I use renting a home versus owning a home. Sure, a lot of you guys do that. Locking in a portion. I say locking in a portion of their gas as well. When I talk about the gas analogy, around $1 a gallon. That kind of, I'm just kind of planting the seed that our monthly payment starts out a little bit higher. More homeowners are going cash. When I draw the graph, I say there are 2 ways to go solar. There's the traditional way where you would pay for the system up front. And there's the other option where we can finance it. It really doesn't matter to us which way you go, as we do source and install. Do you know which direction you're leaning? And then what the homeowner says is kind of how you pivot. If it's cash, let them know there's a cash discount. They can pay with card, half up front, half at completion, and get their cash back. I do show the finance option first, unless they're adamantly going cash, then I'm not gonna show the finance. And I always, when I'm showing the homeowner cash now, I always show the 10.59% option. I generate that design, because it's the same cost. I mean, I let them know that they have the ability to pivot or adjust, and if they don't have the capital today, they can just pay it off in the next 6 months, 12 months, a year, 2 years, paying really nominal interest, but getting all the benefits of solar today. If it's finance, obviously don't mention the cash discount. Let them know this is what most homeowners do. The only home renovation you can do where the value of your home goes up with little change to your expenses, what I tell many homeowners. And really the utility is effectively paying it off with the money they would have been giving them anyway, right? So, If they say depends, I follow the finance steps there in the middle. When I get to the end of the proposal and I've closed it, I gauge their interest by asking, are you planning on paying this off quickly, or just to give an opportunity to switch to it if I've already booked it? Then it really can hammer home and lock in the sale. If they say yes, you can seal the deal, showing the 10.59%, same as cash finance option as an additional option. Simplicity, I think, is the key why I do that. Setting expectations about offset and price. Every homeowner expects 100% offsets. You have to make sure you set expectations properly. That, at least in Oregon, our average offset's about 60%. So we set clear expectations. I always look at the proposal before I show the homeowner, and if it's 75% offset, then I'll say, just to set expectations, sometimes we can offset, 25% of your power. Sometimes we can replace 50% of your power. It just depends on the productive surface area of the roof, the pitch, plane, direction, shape. But even if it comes back as, say, 50%, I always give an example that's less than their offset. I say it still makes sense. And that's because you're reducing and extracting half of the money you've been throwing away and replacing with a fixed inflation protected payment for half. If you could have locked in half your gas at $1 a gallon, everybody would have done it, right? I slow down, obviously. I'm moving through this pretty quickly. Set expectations about monthly payment, starting higher as well. This can make or break a sale as well. I just say, the payment usually starts a little bit higher, maybe $30, $40 a month higher. There's a quick inflection point usually within the first, maybe 2 years, 3 years, where you built equity and now you're, it's crossed. You see the graph there at the bottom. I circled it in red. This is actually a screenshot of the part of the follow-up I send to the homeowner. Rates are skyrocketing. Make it personal. I highly recommend that. We train our closers to use a utility cost calculator. This is the one we use. Honestly, if anybody has a better one that's still simple, I would love to see it. It's pretty straightforward. Shows their utility rate increases, what they're going to look like as time goes on. So it makes it personal to the homeowner. It also shows like how much money they'll expend in utility costs. I say throw away over those periods of time. So 10 years, $200 bill at 10% rate increase moving forward is $38,000. It's a lot, and homeowners just never see it that way. Showing the analysis. Real quick here. Only when you feel the homeowner understands everything and you've overcome all the objections do you show the prop. Oh, it looks like it's done, right? So because I'm kind of withholding it, and honestly, I create a lot of regens to try to really get the most production efficiently as possible. So, and then when it's loading, I say, I'll send you a summary of everything we talked about and attach this analysis to prevent them from saying it at the end. I do not sell. I just continue to give statements and facts, continue to educate the homeowner. Do not, especially with the slides. The prop. You don't want to be selling through the slides. I don't go through each slide. I just, the first screen is eye candy. So I show them that, kind of break down what the panels look like, flat screen TVs, overcomes the objection of aesthetics many times. US map slide, I do touch on it. Many of these are business achievement awards. We're in the Inc. 500. We were in the Inc. 500, but many of these are customer service awards. We take pride in this, and we're not going anywhere. This is a long-term relationship. Again, setting ourselves apart from the others. Mention the app slide where they can monitor the production of the system with their phone. And then when I go into the results, this is when I use nonverbal cues. So it's just a tactic. And instead of saying this looks really good or this is great, this is this is awesome. I just basically just smile and okay, wow, okay. So it's just something like that, So it kind of they think that it's better than the average home. So at this point, you've correctly set expectations about the example of lowering offset so be pleasantly surprised non-verbally when you see the offset. It doesn't matter what it is. Offset really doesn't matter to me at all. I sell 10% offset, 20, 25, it doesn't bother me. But yeah, I'm excited about it. Touch on production guarantee. We're getting more sunny days, so the system will produce more than what we state. Going through price, this is pretty straightforward. I think everybody kind of knows how to go through the price section. I just give the whole number, total system cost is $50,376. I'll say 50, net system cost, I'll say 35. But the tax credit, I'll be specific in saying the exact dollar amount. And then I'll give them examples of things they could do with the tax credit to just kind of plant that seed in their mind. Paying off higher interest debt, putting it towards home efficiency improvements to bring up the offset. If it's 50% offset and they make a significant improvement in efficiency, then the offset's going to go up. I want them to think about that. Going on a trip, whatever. I want to get them imagining what they could do with it. Transition to monthly payment. Again, act surprised. The monthly payment is great. Nonverbal cue. I say this is the monthly payment that will replace the utility, just like locking in your gas around $1 per gallon, just kind of tying back to that analogy. And then after showing the options, I remind them of what it replaces. So that utility cost calculator, that red and white, calculator that I showed you guys, I'll say, so your fixed inflation protected payment applying your tax credit would be, $220 per month, replacing this. And I swipe back to that utility cost calculator. So it becomes apparent, like, it's not, this is money they're already spending. How do they want to spend it? That's what this is coming down to. So it becomes like a no-brainer when I do it that way. My close is a recommendation because I've earned the right to do so. So because I built a relationship, and I am the educator and almost like a solar advisor, they trust me at that point. And, I definitely recommend it to them. So as far as the close is concerned, we try to keep it short, sweet, it's like a sentence or two. There can't really be any breaks in the close. This is where I think a lot of consultants have issues, where they just do a great job in the pitch, but they just can't push it through. You don't want to give them time to think about objections. So this is what I say. So your expenses don't really change, and I'm on the payment screen, and I swipe over the tax credit. You qualified for the tax credit. I can tell right away your home would appreciate in value by more than the system cost itself. So I definitely recommend the inspection. That is when we'll know if you qualify. And then I say, any questions? Usually there's no questions because I cover everything because I'm pretty thorough. And then I say, does it make sense? And they nod. That's the psychology of the sale. You want them to start nodding, right? I assume, this is where we kind of assume the sale. They think that I'm asking, do you understand everything that I covered? And I'm thinking like, yep, let's move. You're saying, let's move forward. So I say, great. So the next step is we do a soft credit check, requires 650 or higher. Then you approve an electronic document so we can set the date for the inspection. And I immediately have the contact card pulled up. Does this look correct? Does this information look correct? I just keep moving, no pauses. Sticky books.
We got to cut there, Rich.
Yeah, let's cut it. That's fine.
You got so much value to add, and I feel like there's so much to take away from each of those. That we got to group drinking from the fire hydrant a little bit. Thanks for taking some time to hop on and cover this with us. There's several managers that got to get out and go run your meetings. I got another meeting to hop on to, but love this